So you're wanting to start recording professional sounding electric guitar tracks from home. I got 3 ways that you can start doing that. Let's jump on in. Welcome back, my friends. It's good to see you again. Today, we're going to be talking about getting into recording electric guitars. If you've never taken that step before, I know I was extremely nervous about it. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even own a solid computer that could run a DAW. There's definitely a bit of a learning curve to all these things, but man, the biggest thing is you just got to make that jump and start doing it. So hopefully this video will be of some help to you guys. So first things first, head on down, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Y'all, I'm gonna keep trying to pump out some really fun content for you guys, and I would love for you to come along with me on the journey. So recording guitars, let's talk about what you're gonna need. So if you're anything like me, when you think about recording, one of 2 things can come to mind. There can be like the absolute biggest, most professional studio in the world that has all the gear you could ever think of with the top tier players and all those things. Or you could be doing what I was doing, recording into my cassette player at home. It doesn't really matter which one of those pops in your brain, but I'm here to tell you today that it is so accessible to pretty much everybody. I feel like everybody and their grandma is doing recording these days. So let's talk about a few things that you're gonna need. You're gonna need a computer. It doesn't really matter what the computer is. You're also gonna need a DAW. A DAW being a digital audio workstation. This could be Pro Tools, Cubase, Ableton, Logic. Y'all, there are tons of these things. Not all of them are both Mac and PC compatible. So whatever kind of computer you got, look into one of the DAWs that can work for you and jump on it. Next thing we're gonna need is some cabling. That could be a few XLRs, it could be a few 1/4-inch cables or instrument cables, whatever you wanna call them. But we're gonna need some of those things because we're gonna be using a lot more than probably what you would use just for a standard gig most of the time. Last but not least, you are absolutely going to have a guitar. Now, that seems like a given. Probably wouldn't be looking up how to record guitar tracks if you didn't already have a guitar. So now, depending on which method you want to go with for recording your guitar, you might need a couple other things here and there. Those core things are all you need in order to get started. All right, that's enough of my talking. Let's get on into it. Okay, so option 1 for recording electric guitar from home, you can use a plugin. Upside to using plugins, you can use these amp style plugins, but also you can use studio grade effects for like any modulation, delay, reverb. All that stuff is at your disposal with whatever plugins that you may have. You're not limited to just using a Strymon. You could always go in the box and you could use any of the UAD stuff. You could use anything from Soundtoys, anything from Plugin Alliance. So that's a huge upside. One quick little disclaimer. All of the reverb that you're going to be hearing is all coming after the amp. I have found that when it comes to plugins, they don't really handle all that well things like delay and reverb being sent into the front of the amp. So I usually will put those things after. So here is that clean sound. I am on both pickups currently. So let's jump on in to the pushed amp sound. The gain has gone up pretty significantly. Beforehand, we were sitting a little below 2. Now we're hanging right around 5. The master has had to go down because gain also pushes the volume a lot of times. The other thing I've done is lower the presence just a little bit. I found that as the amp got a little bit more gainy, it just really wanted to poke out a little too much, especially with this telly. Let's check it out. Okay, last but not least, we have the pedal platform set up with this amp. Now you guys can see I've added some delay with that Echoboy Jr. I'm still gonna have the same reverb I had before. I've got what they're calling the BX Opto. So it's gonna be an optical style compressor. And then I have what they're calling the green screamer, pretty obviously a tube screamer. Besides the Echoboy Jr., these are all Plug-in Alliance. Really cool stuff going on from those guys. The amp is gonna be set up exactly how it was for the clean. Let's slowly start engaging some of these effects here. So first of all, let's throw in this this compressor. Yeah, man, dude, that sounds good. Let's throw on the green screamer or a tube screamer. Let's throw in some delay and see if we can get some space and vibe going on. So again, the delay is happening after the amp. Okay, option number 2 on recording from home. Using something like a modeler. Man, there are so many options for this kind of stuff out on the market today. You guys know, if you've seen any of my other videos, I'm a pretty big fan of the quad Cortex. Let's see what kind of things we can do. So here are the settings for the matchless. This is gonna be my speaker cab. This is a EQ that I put at the end of the chain just because I felt like there was a little bit of a buildup in those kind of lower mids. So I wanted to get rid of those. And then I've also got a little spring reverb going on. So let's check it out. Let's keep it moving. We're gonna move right on into the pushed amp kind of sound. So as far as the settings for this go, I didn't really do a ton. I cut back on the treble and the cut just because it's, again, just like with the Dirty Shirley, it started to get a little harsh. Pulled down that master a good bit and I turned up the volume a good bit. So apart from that, nothing has changed. Actually, well, I say nothing has changed. I had to bring down the spring reverb just a little bit. Here is what that sounds like. I'm on the bridge pickup. Can anybody say Brian May? last thing that we have going on is the pedal platform version of this matchless. Again, just like with the last one, the only changes are I've added a compressor, I've added an overdrive pedal, and I've added a delay. Let's jump into this compressor. Without it. All right, let's head on into this overdrive pedal. So here's clean with the compressor. And Morning Glory. Here is what that tape delay sounds like. Okay, last but not least, we're running the real deal. Running a 1968 Fender Bassman. I'm micing it up with a Shure SM57. It's going straight into my Universal Audio Apollo. If you go into any of the big studios around today, they're still doing it this way. So it must still be working. Let's start out with the clean tone. Alright, so there's no way you're not hearing that hiss that's happening over there right now. Part of it is this amp needs a little work. It's a little noisy right now. I've got it on about 8. It does hit a point with these tube amps in general where they will stop getting louder and they'll just start compressing more. Compression is going to, kind of be perceived by us as that overdrive, as the crunch or whatever. Let's check it out. I've not listened to this yet. Here we go. And finally, we're on to the pedal platform type of setup with this amp. I'm gonna add the Wampler Ego compressor, which I absolutely love. I'll also be turning on some delay, which let me see what I've got. I've got an analog delay currently running off of my Boss DD200. And then finally, I'm gonna kick on the Nordland ODRC, which is Noble's kind of thing. So here is clean again. progression. Let's get some delay going. Let's kick on this Nordland. Okay, my friends, that is it. All of those methods have something about them that is just great. I mean, and also they all have their downfalls. All of these are really solid options to help you get started recording guitar. And y'all, more than anything, start doing it. Have fun with it. Like, don't be afraid of something not sounding perfect. Don't let that be a hindrance to you getting going on the recording journey. Man, just jump in with whatever it is that you've got. If you've got a Line 6 pod from 2000 and whatever, freaking use it. It does not matter. Use whatever you have at your disposal. Start making that music and just enjoy it, man. All right, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. It's been a lot of fun. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna keep trying to pump this stuff out. So I'll see you next time.